Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Unfortunately, we've been hit by winter germs again today, so we have team members calling in via Teams, and they're going to be using the chat function because some of their cameras and microphones aren't working. So today we're going to have a look at adapting to change and challenges with critical thinking and creative thinking. Okay, so to start the process, we're just going to have a look at, we're pretty good at thinking about how we treat the rest of our team members. However, just to recap some of the ground rules. So all team members are treated with respect and dignity. We're going to be considerate of others' opinions and perspectives. Demonstrate empathy and flexibility when faced with challenges in these conversations. Maintain confidentiality for team discussions and opinions shared. So we're not going outside of this meeting and talking about what others have said. We're going to avoid the drama triangle situations. We're going to be curious and ask questions, but be respectful of others' questions and curiosity. Okay, so in terms of the living to the max problem solving process, at the moment we're at step 3. So Emma and I in our leadership meetings have identified that challenges and changes are something that creates more challenges, for a better word, for the team, and some negativity in the team when we do have changes or we are faced with challenges. So that's why as a team we're up to step 3, and we're going to be looking at brainstorming some what we find challenging about the changes and challenges, but also some possible solutions. Okay, so as I've said before, we know that some of us don't cope with change well and can respond unconstructively to challenges, and then it can negatively impact our team's ability to share and apply critical and creative thinking to new developments and changes and challenging situations. So we know that team members feel more confident to apply critical and creative thinking to their own caseload rather than sharing with the whole team. And what that means is we're actually missing out on some really great solutions and ideas and opportunities because we're not sharing our critical and creative thinking. Okay, so I'm going to open it up, and if people feel comfortable to share, what makes changes and challenges hard?
When I don't understand why we need to change, I find it scary and I feel negative.
Okay, so is that saying when we introduce a change and you don't understand some of the reasons for it, that it can be a bit scary?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right. How about any other things that make challenges hard or change hard?
Changes and challenges increase my anxiety and stress levels.
And that's a pretty normal response for most of us. Anything else?
Change has not gone well for me in the past.
I'm sorry to hear that change hasn't gone well in the past. Let's see if we can come up with some solutions to make change and challenges easier going forward.
When we have had challenges in the past, Darren and Tracy would fix them. We didn't have to think of solutions.
So in the past, before acquisition, if there was a change required or there was a challenge or something that needed to be fixed, you didn't have the opportunity to practice your critical and creative thinking?
Yeah, that's correct.
Any other points? No? Okay, all right. There's some really Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate that. And if anyone has any other reasons, you can share later on, or send to discuss with me outside the meeting, or send me an email if you don't feel comfortable sharing, in front of the whole group. Okay. So what would make change and challenges easier to cope with and cause less negative responses?
Involving us in the discussion-making process, we could use mind mapping.
So in the decision-making process, to use mind mapping?
Yep.
Great. Okay. Any other ideas?
Allowing us to help come up with possible situations, time to brainstorm.
Okay, so use some brainstorming to come up with some possible solutions to different situations?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right. Any other ideas?
Psychological safety.
Well, that's a big one. It sounds like in the past that perhaps people didn't feel safe at work to share their critical and creative thinking ideas.
That's right.
Okay. Any other ideas to enhance our ability to respond to changes and challenges positively?
Yeah. Empathy.
Empathy, good one.
Considering options and perspectives of others.
Yeah, so considering different options, perspectives, opinions of others. Right.
Give us time to think of solutions.
Yeah, that's a hard one, isn't it? Because often we come to you, we want a solution now, but sometimes you need that time to step away and think about it.
Yeah. Allowing voting on solutions.
Yeah, no, that's a good one, because I've had feedback that just the way that LTTM was structured in the past, that perhaps there wasn't that ability to vote on different ideas, that it was previous leadership's way, or yeah, unfortunately not always included in that decision-making process. Okay, there's some really great ideas there of how we can enhance our ability, and then we can, to look at some solutions. So just so moving forward, I thought that I would show you, in terms of critical and creative thinking, the Wallace and the CPS models. So what we've actually done there is, in the Wallace model, we've actually done some preparation. So what we've done is we've explored the issue and made some observations. Okay. Hopefully what you'll move on to is a bit of incubation and illumination. So incubation requires you to put the issue aside and return to it later. And illumination is, during this stage, we'll have a moment where a new idea emerges. And so, as Trenton said, giving time will help come up with new ideas. Under the CPS model, if we're following that model, at the moment what we did was clarify. So we've clarified what the issues are, or what the challenges are, the difficulties, and we started to ideate, and that's generating lots of different ideas. So as we progress, we will progress through those models. So next step in our problem solving process. So we've met in our huddle and brainstormed some ideas. Emma and I will go away and talk about it in our team meeting. It also gives you the opportunity to think about it outside of the team environment. So spend some time in incubation, and perhaps illumination will occur. Often that happens for me in my drive home. And please share any ideas or solutions you have over the next week, because I know sometimes people need to go away and think, and others don't feel comfortable talking about it in a group situation. And at our next huddle, we'll move on to develop and hopefully verification if we think of the Wallace and the CPS model. Great. Did anyone have any questions? No? Okay. So what we'll do is, as I said in the previous slide, that we'll go away and think about it in the next week. Please continue to share any ideas that you may have, and then we can move on to the next phase of our critical and creative thinking. Okay, thanks everyone.